guys, and welcome back to the Nurse Nook. So I wanted to do a quick little video for you guys and share with y'all how I make it through my 3 12-hour shifts. Now normally when you tell like just a regular person that you're working 3 shifts in a row, they're like, okay. But when you tell a nurse or someone else that works 12-hour shifts in the hospital, they're like, ooh, girl, I'm so sorry to hear that. And that is because 12-hour shifts are like no other. And let me just tell y'all, 12-hour shifts are never only 12 hours. They're usually more like at least 13 hours. Now, that might not sound so bad, but let's break it down, right? Say that you worked only a 12-hour shift and you work again the next day. Between the time that you leave and between the time that you start your next shift are 12 hours. Now, granted, let's say you live 30 minutes away. That's 30 minutes going home and 30 minutes getting to work the next day. So that shaves an hour off of your time, right? So now you're left with 11 hours in between your last shift and your next shift. So 11 hours. So not only do you have to add that travel time, but you're also not just gonna wake up immediately and roll out of bed and get right into your car and go to work, right? So you need to factor in time to get ready, which is, depending on the person, between 30 minutes and an hour, right? So let's shave another hour off of that. So now you're left with 10 hours, right? Between the time you get home to the time you have to get up and start getting ready for your next shift. So 10 hours. So a decent amount of rest every night to be prepared and rested for your next shift is 8 hours, right? Let's go with 8 hours of rest. That's what you need, ideally. So shaving off all that time, you are left with 2 hours between the time that you get home from work and the time that you need to go to sleep for your next shift is 2 hours. Now that is just with a 12-hour shift. If your shift goes closer to 13 hours, that means you only have an hour of free time before you have to go to sleep to prepare for your next shift. So when you think about that, you really do not have any time after you get off a shift to do anything besides sleep and eat, maybe, if you want to be well rested. And this is something I struggled with when I first became a nurse, like the 12-hour shifts and doing them in a row, because I tried to do all this stuff when I was getting home from my shifts and I was like so overwhelmed and so tired because I didn't realize the time I needed to go to bed to be rested for the next day, because 11 hours in between my shifts is not enough time to eat dinner, to decompress, to catch up on whatever I need to catch up on, get rest. Like there was just not enough time. So I really had to prioritize what I needed to do in between my shifts to make it through. So I like to do 3 in a rows. By the 3rd day, I'm like dead a zombie, but I prefer to do 3 in a rows because that means I get more days off in a row. Like if I do 3 in a rows, I know I can have like 4 days off rather than if I did 2 off, 1 on 1, like rather than that. I like to clump my days together because I mentally prepare myself before my shifts, and I like to like get into work mode and just knock it all out at one time, and then when I'm done I go into rest mode, and then I have like a mini vacation every week pretty much. One of the most important parts of being prepared for 3 in a row shifts is rest. I cannot stress this enough. You need your sleep because you will be a miserable person if you are not getting rest in between your shifts. That is the only way to make it through effectively, because if not, by your 2nd or 3rd shift, you are going to be so miserable and hating life, and that is how you burn out quickly because you're going to be so over it. You're going to hate going to work because you're going to be so tired, and you know you're going to be there all day, and it's just going to be a recipe for disaster. I always say when you go home, don't do any outside work if possible. I know some people are still in school and all that. Do that work. But if you are able to, just try to rest when you get home, because you are on your feet working hard all day long. You don't need to be coming home and working too at home. Just kick back, relax, watch some TV, watch something funny, like take the load off, de-stress, compress, read a book, whatever you like to do to relax, do that after you get home. Another thing, working 3 in a row, your feet and legs will be dead tired. And how I help prevent this is, 1, by wearing compression socks. Compression socks have helped a lot with my legs and not feeling so sore and tired after my shifts. I rarely feel like my legs are dead after my shift since I started wearing compression socks. And also I elevate my legs as much as I can. So if I'm at the nurse's station, I have a little break, I'm just hanging out, I don't like to put my leg up on the chair, you know, because it looks unprofessional, but like under the desk I have a garbage can that's like hip level, and I literally just rest my feet on the garbage can. Like, it helps elevate them a little bit, get the blood flowing, helps prevent, you know, swelling and feet and leg pain. Also, good shoes. You are going to need a good solid pair of shoes to get you through the shift. I wear New Balance. I wore clogs in nursing school because I felt like all nurses had to wear clogs. Honestly, I didn't really like them, the ones I was wearing. I felt like I was walking on bricks and they weren't very comfortable for me. But whatever pair of comfortable shoes you find, definitely wear the most comfortable shoes you can find, even if you get like insoles, to help keep your feet feeling A1 the whole shift. Other thing that helps me get through these shifts is packing snacks. I am a big eater. I can eat my butt off, y'all. I can eat. I eat like a grown man. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not trying to be cute, trying to be funny. I eat like a grown man. And everybody makes fun of me for it, and I do not care. Literally at my job, everybody's always like, oh, there goes Alexis eating again. And I'm like, I surely am, with like my 5 bags of snacks. It's important to help keep your metabolism up. What I like to do is bring a lot of little snacks, and I'll eat like every 2 hours. 1, because I'm always hungry, and 2, because it keeps my metabolism up and it constantly keeps it burning. It just gives you something to look forward through the shift. Like, you know, you have snacks in your bag. It's like, ooh. And sometimes I even like to plan out my meals. I'll do like, okay, 12 o'clock is lunch, and then at 2 o'clock I'm gonna have this snack, and then I'm gonna have this snack before I go home. It just keeps you looking forward to little things throughout the day, you know? Another thing that I've been doing that I completely love and has transformed my day is to either meditate in the car before I go to work or listen to like a motivational TED Talk on the way. This changes my whole mindset for the day, makes me feel so motivated and focused, especially meditation. I just like clear everything from my mind, just focus on my breathing. And I just give myself a nice little pep talk, like, I'm gonna make it through this day. It's gonna be a great day. Whatever happens to me, you know, I will make it through. I can't control what I'm given, but I can control my reaction to everything. I just like give myself those little talks to help boost my confidence before I go in. And a big contributor to how I make it through my shifts is my tea. I drink green tea before every shift, and I think this is the only reason I make it through. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't like coffee. It's too much caffeine in it for me. So I drink green tea with honey in it. And this just gives me a nice little boost to start my day off and helps wake me up and just keeps me going. I know a lot of nurses are coffee drinkers. If you do drink coffee, even if you drink tea, whatever you drink, honestly, another important thing that I can share with you guys to make it through your shifts is to stay hydrated, especially if you're drinking coffee, because coffee dries you out. The caffeine in it dries you out. So it's important to stay hydrated and drink tons and tons of water. I bring my little teacup with me, and then I'll bring 3 extra water bottles in my bag, and I usually end up filling at least 1 up throughout my day. That is how much water you should be drinking. Like, you need to be constantly refilling yourself, especially if you're constantly on the go. You don't get to sit down at all. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and please take your potty breaks. Please, all it takes is a minute to pee. Just a minute. You can plan your time accordingly to just take a break for a minute and just to go release your bladder. Please do. Please do. We don't want any UTIs, guys. All right, y'all, that is my little story time slash, I don't know, tip thingy, whatever, about how I make it through my 3 in a row shifts. I hope you guys like this video. Leave comments down below on your thoughts and how you guys make it through your shifts. I'll see you guys in the next video.